Okay, quick disclaimer before we get started. The Blockmates podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. The information and opinions expressed on the podcast are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Blockmates or its affiliates. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research and consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Blockmates and its affiliates are not liable for any losses or damages incurred as a result of the reliance on the information or opinions expressed on this podcast.
And we are live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Did that second one backwards wherever you are. In for another installment of Good Morning Degen, which we've had some nice feedback on this in the last few days, which is good to see. I'm feeling better than I did on Tuesday, and Tuesday seemed to be a decent one. So hopefully this one will be equally as good. Morning, Grant. How are you?
All good, all good. Afternoon for me. Ben always says good local time, which I quite like. Because this
I do like that. Good local time. Maybe we should call it. I was going to make
good local time.
Good local time, DJ.
Gonna make a shit joke.
Yeah, man. I was backdoor it, and you just sucked me back into the abyss there, mate. Sorry, shit crack, everyone. But yeah, in an effort to make these short and sweet as we do, wherever you are in the car or walking to work or eating your tea or whatever. Can't be asked thinking of any more examples. We're going to start and kick things off. If you haven't had a look at anything today, which I'm assuming people probably will have, we will start immediately with the prices and flows. So Bitcoin is down. We're at 26,850 circa, obviously at time of recording. So go easy on us on that. It is the 1st of June. It's not a great start to a new month, is it? Especially after what we saw over the weekend as well.
No, it was. I was up early watching it over this side of the world, and it looked like it was going to be a positive open, and then, just got slammed back down. So it's supposed to be selling May and walk away, and then hopefully in June it's a move, but it doesn't look like the case.
Selling May. Sometimes, you need perspective, don't you, of the way we speak to each other in this space from the outside. I might just start playing it to my granddad and just giving myself a cold slap in the face every so often. ETH is also down 0.7% from last time. Well, over the past 24 hours, at about 1,858. Frustrating, another one, but what can you do? Total market cap is 1.18 trillion. Binance outflows now minus 39.2 mil. Do you want to reflect on any of that quickly?
I think it's all good. I mean, total market cap's held up despite Bitcoin and ETH. So it just effectively just shows that stablecoins aren't necessarily leaving the system. There's not a lot of kind of outflows going through Binance, like the number one exchange. So
yeah,
I think people are just waiting to see what happens. I don't think people are running for the hills or anything. People just want a bit of certainty of what's about to happen.
Yeah, Fear and Greed. I can't remember whether we bloody updated this one. To be fair, Fear and Greed is up though, I believe.
Yeah. I checked it this morning on Conclass. So
yeah,
it's still in the neutral camp, 52. So again, not too much. Nothing really overly to report on with regards to that. So,
yeah, moving swiftly on. So what we got down for the biggest winners today is actually a bit of a paradox, maybe, because we're not actually happy about the fact that these are the biggest winners. Good old Dino coins, eh? Fucking boring, but yeah, Grant.
Yeah,
it's everyone do this one.
It's a funny one when always you see. I was looking through CoinGecko biggest gainers of the day, and nothing was really jumping out apart from the fact XRP and XLM and IOTA and Litecoin are moving, and it's always they're extremely liquid, and all the 2017, 2018 crowd that haven't moved on from trading perps on a centralized exchange seem to love them for some reason. But they're all just a pile of shit, really, aren't they? They're not good for anything, really. And it's usually a sign of there is nothing really happening. It's very, very flat, which backs up like the prices and flows section we've just done, and people are just punting on things that kind of have depth of liquidity on centralized exchange. The only thing I can really pick out with regards to why one of them, particularly Litecoin, is moving is there's a Litecoin halving in around 59 days, but today's winners are extremely boring, so apologies to the audience for that one.
And if you are listening, if you are listening and you do love XRP, then good for you, I guess. Yeah. Walk myself into another hole. Walk myself into another hole there that I'm going to swiftly back out of. Biggest losers, other than us, for what we've just discussed. So the CFX sell-off into the Hong Kong first day of trading. A little bit of a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it probably 2 episodes ago. You kind of see them moving, and they had that like 48 hours where they were increasing, but this has been on everyone's radar. It's not as if like this is something that people who are at the fringes knew about. This was like very, very well documented, so it's no kind of surprise to see that sell off. And I suppose on the another one that's kind of in top 10 of like the top 100 losers on the day. So we explained why the OP token could have a sell off, which it did in the last episode, and that was kind of came true. I seen something very strange around the Block Explorer going down, which is never a good sign, because if the Block Explorer is down and you can't see where funds are being moved to around a time of a large unlock, it looks a little bit sus. I might be wearing a bit of a tinfoil hat around that one, but I don't know, a bit dodgy for me. But
probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Fucking hell. There's a few others as well. If anyone's been following like the emerging LSD5 projects, particularly Unsheath, that had an exploit last night, which has pissed me off royally this morning to see it down like 50%, because it was kind of moving in the right direction. And what's effectively happened is there was two contracts controlled by a specific wallet, and it looks like there's been a bit of a private key breach on that wallet. They haven't really revealed how it's happened just yet. So none of the deposited assets from users have been affected. It's primarily just some unsheathed tokens that have been kind of exploited. When I was checking Etherscan this morning, because I seen a couple of transactions going from that wallet into the wallet, it was effectively the hacker relaying back to the team. He wants to transfer ownership. So the hacker wants to transfer ownership back to the team, which I've jumped in Discord and spoke with them, and it looks like they've got everything back under control. So there was around 365 K worth of unsheath sold. And I think they've put up like a 50K white hat bounty if he wants to return the funds, which is now in DAI, obviously, because he can't be blacklisted by Circle or Tether if it's in USDC or USDT. So they've put up like a white hat bounty for that. But I'd be very, I'd be very surprised if we see all those funds back. But it could happen. You never know. So it was down around 67%, like top to bottom. Now it's around 30% down, as I suppose like Europe wakes up and then the US wakes up and might never know what's going to happen. But I'm a little bit pissed off about that one because it was moving in the right direction.
So what that kind of came to your attention as you were waking up early, was it?
Yeah. Well, the majority of the downside was like an hour or so before I woke up. So I didn't get to see it like down 70%, which would have probably given me a little heart attack. But
like the worst thing you can do, just like you've had your eyes open for 30 seconds and just fallen straight out. I mean, I'm a stickler for that kind of thing. Otherwise, you're just destined to wake up in a foul mood if you just check what's been going on.
Yeah, all the all the like the health guru and self-help labs will tell you not to check your phone in the morning, but fuck them.
I subscribe to the health gurus and the health labs from time to time.
They don't have over-leveraged shitcoin longs open today, so they're obviously going to fucking check it, idiots.
You're not wrong, mate.
Man up and go long, so being a little fanny.
Yeah, you're not wrong. God, it should be like a race to see who can check the phone the fastest in the morning. Let's see who feels worse. But yeah, and then
what do you go for first? You go and check your portfolio or reach over for your vape? That's like
yeah. Well, I think what we were saying the other day, like, what are you addicted to? I'm obviously not going to repeat. Yeah, everything. What we all said our addictions were, but fucking hell, man. Anyway, moving swiftly on to news flash in the pan. So a few interesting things to talk about. First day of Hong Kong trading opens, small sell-off. Do you want to touch on that one quickly, or?
Yeah, it's all right. Everyone will see it when they check the portfolio in the morning.
Yeah, is what it is. USDC ditches T-bills, now only holds cash and repurchase agreements to back USDC stablecoin value.
Yeah, that's a funky one because USDC and Circle have been absolutely printing for as long as interest rates were continually going up. So what they'll effectively do is, if you mint USDC from Circle, you give them effectively US dollars, they'll mint you USDC on chain, then you go play around and do as much degenerate shit as physically possible at scale with USDC. And then what they'll do, just similar to like a bank, they'll hold like a certain portion of cash reserves distributed across different banks, hence why when Silicon Valley went down, USDC depegged. But a large portion of that they'll just hold in short-dated treasuries, which is earning them a shit ton of money. Like they're extremely profitable by doing that. But it's interesting to see that they've sold everything off, and as they only hold in cash and repurchase agreements now currently. So and I think that came off the back of the debt ceiling delay until whenever the fuck they're going to do it. They'll never do it. So I think they're probably just waiting to see how the market reacts to that properly and then make a decision. But in the bull market side, where they want to kind of primarily hold cash if interest rates are low, they'll just the mint and redemption fee they'll just put on like extremely large orders is enough for them to be profitable, or they'll kind of look for other ways to put the money to work that are in the reserves. But they've definitely ate well during this time of increased interest rates. So interesting to see that they've sold everything off.
You don't need a reason to tune into that. This man's just a fountain of knowledge. See what I mean? You just get it all. And then, so this one caught my eye this morning, which I quite like. So the Reddit founder, I'm probably going to pronounce his name incorrectly here, Alexis Ohanian. I think I've probably done a decent job of that. He's basically... maybe it's not spelled like an Irish name, like accents and everything. So he's basically come out and said that he thinks the play to earn games are still going to be the standard for gaming in the present future going forward, and he's just getting a shitload of hate and people laughing at him for it. This, which just told me I love a lot of abuse and a witch hunt. I'll pull it up quickly if anyone wants to check this out. If you are watching it, this is the article on Decrypt. But we kind of wanted to talk about it. Sorry, it's obviously kind of after the decline of Axie Infinity, which we also covered on here the other week. But what do you think of this one? What do you think of like the headline and the reaction that he's getting? Is it warranted? I know your answer.
I think he's stuck in 2020, to be fair. I don't think he understands. Because if you say that and you get backlash now, the only people that are still around in this industry are complete diehards or complete degenerates that have nowhere else to go. So you're talking to people who are so in the weeds with this kind of stuff. If you start talking a lot of bollocks, you're just going to get called out for it. If you can say that in the fucking bull market when it's like you've got every Uber driver on the planet, that's like
Hail Mary and everything. But
like play to earn, it just ends up to, like, if you think about, like, if you play out the Ponzi-nomics of play to earn long enough and take it to its extreme, everything that's came before it went the same way. It turns into this whole whale game where it is, as you say, a play to earn. But all that happens is people band together in guilds, or like big fat whales come along and just buy up all the highest yielding assets. And then it just turns into a very cost prohibitive landscape for people to play. We seen it. We had, I'm not going to say we had crabs, but we did have crabs in Crabada, and they were going for like 50 grand a piece at a point in time. And I seen Crypto Fish from Trader Joe post about it the other day, saying I used to have this 150 grand fucking crab, and now it's worth like $3. So, but yeah,
I don't know whether I remember that period fondly or I don't know, but like the game was just hilarious as well. And we were looking at these crabs. God, I can't keep throwing that word around because it does sound like weird. But yeah, what an absolutely mental period. And then obviously I always feel like if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And it just burnt to pieces, didn't it? Died a death.
What also happens with those games where it becomes there's a few things. So one, someone figures out how to bot it immediately.
Yeah.
So like people who are playing manually against people who are playing running a bot, they're always going to get fucked, and they don't know why they're doing that. And that's where it comes like economies at scale. The more money you have, the more money you can make from these kind of things, because you can afford to go and pay however much it costs to spin up a bot to win and buy the best crabs to win. And not just using like Crabada as a bad example, but like the same with Axie. Like I think I've told this story a few times, so I apologize for repeating it. But when we were in Chiang Mai probably 18 months ago, the Lantern Festival, we turned around this street corner, and there's this like old Thai guy sat on like the side of the street, and he's got this like device with about 12 different mobiles attached to it. Just looks like he just spun it open, like welded it together himself, and like 12 different mobiles all playing Axie Infinity. But he's not even looking at the screens. He's just like this conductor where he's just pressing the screens. Like he immediately, instinctively knows what to do with it. So one, you're playing against bots, or that's your competition. And then I've even seen kind of, we talk about stepping the other week, where it was like walk to earn or whatever bollocks that was. There was literally mining farms of phones all in a row on these rotational devices going like this, effectively replicating like a pedometer or like a step count, just rigs and rigs and rigs and rigs and rigs of the stuff. So like on all these devices, they were down as walking or like walk to earn, effectively racking up like GMT where they could just sell it on the public market. So these things just get gamified like instantly. So I think the kind of play to earn model is a lot of shit. You've seen a lot of risk to earn stuff come out, which makes a lot of sense.
How do you fucking police it though? Like what you're saying there, like these guys, and fair play to them, by the way, for like hacking that like that. It's like people who can do a Rubik's Cube in 5 seconds.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's that those people who are creating those games and they see like a huge uptick in user base, even though it might be like 15 people with like phone rig setups like across like some warehouse or something like that. They just post, we've got a million users. We've probably got 1,000 users that have all got 1,000 devices. So and they love those kind of metrics, but yeah, like risk to earns becoming a bit more prominent now. So like Trident were the first ones to come out with that, and effectively makes a lot more sense where you're putting a wager down, each person putting a wager down. Maybe there's like a fee taken by the project to do that. But yeah, I think play to earn's a load of shit, to be honest.
Because what we were saying, Wormy, is that surely the only sensible way is that you have like the game first, then you find a way to intelligently integrate like crypto earnings or whatever that way around, which does lead us on to what Henry brought us up with the new Grand Theft Auto, which, Henry, if you do have a link for an article or you want to even jump back on the stream.
I've just pulled one up, but I don't know, it might be rumors, but I'd love to be robbing old grannies and taking the money off them.
Yeah, so rumor has it that the next Grand Theft Auto you can keep what you kill, quite literally. So you kill someone in the street or whatever you want to do. I don't know what degenerate activity you're all up to on Grand Theft Auto. I was never doing that. I was stopping at red lights and everything. But yeah, you can apparently take money from the game and withdraw it. By the way, we have no idea whether any of this is verified. Henry's just put in the comments, make your own meth lab and keep the money. Yeah. I don't know. Is that an appropriate place to end this today? Grand Theft Auto,
make your own meth lab and kill old grannies for money and off-ramp it. That's
sounds very safe and productive to society.
Kill to earn instead of play to earn. That's a
kill to earn on the new Grand Theft Auto and earn Bitcoin. I'm gonna
get Boiler Rip on that one.
Yeah. Oh well, that's another thing. We'll have Boyle back on soon for your listening pleasure. And right, we're gonna end it there. Same way we always do. Subscribe to the newsletter. You already know by now why you should do that. And yeah, see you on the next one.